Hey guys, Rach here. Vlog number 2. Thank you very much for actually watching the first one. It means an awful lot, and it has given me kind of the incentive to make this one. I would have made it anyway, but it just wouldn't have been anybody watching. So yeah, thanks for that. This week's been really busy with regards to gaming news. So kind of early on in the week I decided I wanted to do some sort of vlog kind of capturing a lot of the news that's been announced. I am going to miss things out. I'm kind of only really talking about things that are either of super importance, or things that I've read and I find quite interesting and things that I quite like talking about. As you know, I quite like to talk. The first thing I don't know a whole lot about. None of us really do. We only really know the ins and outs of it. But it's called Project Shield. I think it was announced on Monday. Basically, someone called Nvidia, have announced that they are bringing out a handheld console. Really. If any of you have seen it, or if you haven't, it looks like a kind of like a 360 pad, or if ever you've seen them, those kind of third-party PC gaming pads. It looks like one of those, but it's got a little HD screen on the top of it. Apparently, it's going to be able to play Android games and certain PC games. Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. It definitely makes sense not to bring out a whole new format of games. I think competition's pretty fierce at the minute as it is, and without wanting to go into the economy or anything like that, it does make sense to use games that are already around and about and that are going to be made for different formats anyway. But what do you guys think? Upon initially seeing the news, I honestly can't look at it and think it's something that I would really want or play with. I struggle to kind of, drag my tush on my 3DS as it is, let alone something else. Unless the Android market brings something pretty remarkable out of the bag. I can't see it's something I'm going to get for myself. But we'll see nearer to the time. I don't actually think it's got a release date yet. What have I written down? I've written notes, by the way. Because a lot of people said of my last video that I seemed quite nervous. I don't think I was that nervous. I just laugh quite a lot, and I think sometimes people might misconstrue that as me being nervous. It's just me laughing at kind of my idiocy, really. Also, speaking of idiocy, people said that I speak quite posh. My friend who knows me in real life, which makes it sound quite strange. My friend who knows me in real life said I use my phone voice. Yeah, well, I think as I get more comfortable with vlogs, my kind of common accent might come creeping out. But yeah. So yeah, I've taken notes for this video just to kind of keep myself on some sort of steady road as opposed to all over the place like I was in the first one. Yeah, anyway, as a tangent goes, that's one of them. The Project Shield, as it's called, by Nvidia, apparently it's due in March. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. I'm hoping that we get some demos out there. Maybe even get it into some retail stores so we can kind of get hands on and see what it plays like. Yeah, and see how that goes. My second little snippet of news, I can't remember what day this was revealed on. It might have been Monday or Tuesday of last week, well, this week, by Sony. The fact that they've apparently, I say apparently, they have applied a patent to block used games. Now, this did and didn't shock me. As far as when EA started putting, like the online passes with their games and stuff like that, it kind of only really felt like a matter of time until a publisher, probably. I don't know. As somebody, Sony, Microsoft, whatever, started trying to protect their games. Now, I think how Sony may see it is that they're protecting against piracy. But I honestly feel, kind of reading a bit of an overview of the patent, I haven't sat there and read the whole thing. That ain't gonna happen, I'd fall asleep. But, like, I haven't sat and read the whole thing. But it sounds like they're putting it forward to stop piracy. I then feel then on the flip side of that is it surely penalises those. That's something, isn't it? Me and my friend often talk about something called a brain fart, and I think that was one of them. I'm not really sure. I don't get them very often. Sorry, I just completely going off tangent again. Yeah, so basically, Sony are talking about doing that. I also spoke to a friend with his opinion on it. We then thought that if they're like patenting. That's something, isn't it? Patenting. If Sony are patenting this, that could then, on the flip side, stop others from doing it. So it could really, I like to be optimistic, it could really mean that Sony are stopping others from doing this. Whether that's what they were trying to do, that seems a bit too noble, though. I feel like they're probably just trying to protect obviously against piracy, but it then kind of stops you sharing your games with your friends. And you know, if you buy a new game, or if your friend buys a new game, and you don't know whether they're going to buy it, or if they're going to like it, or if you're going to like it, you're going to kind of like swap and just like lend it to your friend. It kind of stops that little tiny grasp of real life social aspect that gaming has. Kind of really strips that away from you. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to implement this, whether they're going to implement it. If they do, I really think it'll help out Microsoft and Nintendo to no end if Sony do this. I think a lot of people will be really put off by buying their consoles. So yeah, I think that's just something that we can really monitor. And yeah, see really what Sony and Microsoft, because we know they're kind of like the big guns of what they really announce at E3. I suppose we'll find out if they announce the PS4 at E3, whether it's something that's going to be implemented. But yeah, we'll see. Next thing I'm super excited about that they announced this week was the next Lego game. Obviously we're just getting over how awesome Lego Lord of the Rings was, and then they go and announce that they're bringing out level. I'm such a fucking idiot. I was doing so well. Sorry. Lego Marvel Superheroes. I've been saying, for anybody that knows me, since I played Star Wars, the complete saga, since I played that, I've always said that they should bring out Lego X-Men. I said it for ages. I just thought it would be really cool to be able to play around with everybody's different powers and stuff. So this is kind of a dream come true for me, really. I think it will be awesome. They've already announced a few of the characters that they're going to bring into it. There's obviously the obvious. You've got Spider-Man, Thor, Black Widow. There's a huge giant list of them. The Hulk. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. I think it was autumn. Yeah, autumn. It's going to be out on all major formats. The only thing I will say, TT Games, the guys that make it, please make it online co-op. Please. It would just be so good to just run around with like you and 3 of your mates just as superheroes. Because you didn't do it with Lego Lord of the Rings, and that pissed me off as it was. But if you don't do it with Marvel, then there's going to be hell to pay, mister. I'm going to be a bit annoyed if you don't. But yeah, that was announced this week, and it's really, really exciting news. for really Marvel fans and Lego fans alike. And anybody that just really likes a kind of puzzly kind of, you know, platform game, it's going to be for you. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. That's for autumn. What have I got next on my list? Yes, a quite major franchise have announced their next game, Pokemon X and Y. First of all, for the name, after they released Black and White, and Soul Silver and Heart Gold and all of that, you kind of do think that they've run out of colours, and it turns out they have. So they've announced Pokemon X and Y. They've also announced the 3 starter Pokemon already. Let me just find their name. Sorry, it's Chespin is grass. He looks like a little beaver with a grass hat on. That's kind of all I can really describe him as. Fennekin, which is the fire Pokemon, which to me sounds like a fennec fox. He does look like a little dog with like little fiery fluffy ears. And Froakie, which you kind of can guess is a frog, the water Pokemon. Yeah, they look alright. As far as the Pokemon go, I honestly think they should have just stuck to the original lot. I'd love for them just to have stuck to those. Because I kind of look at the Pokemon now and think they're kind of running out of ideas. That might just be me. And that's a little bit mean because they've had to think of like a lot of character design. So fair play to you guys for sitting that out. But I did watch, there is a trailer of it. If you haven't watched it already, go and watch it. Obviously it's coming out on the 3DS. I know a lot of people won't agree, but I think the new style of gameplay looks really good. I think that I look on the Pokemon games so fondly, as far as kind of nostalgia goes, and a lot of people don't like the change that this new 3D world will bring, but I honestly think it looks like it will play really well. The combat system has changed. Obviously it's a bit kind of 3D, a bit 3D. It is 3D now, and that will take some getting used to. But as far as the actual world goes, the 3D world, I think it looks pretty nice. I want you guys to have a look at the trailer and let me know what you think. But I'm quite excited for it. I've got my 3DS and I rarely play it, but Pokemon will be one of the games I definitely buy. So yeah, that was announced this week, which is pretty bloody exciting. Next thing, second to last thing on my list is Tomb Raider. Obviously, it's coming out this year. They've announced a controller that they're bringing out for it. If you've not seen a picture, go and have a ganders. Pause this, go and have a ganders, then come back. It's red. How I read it, it sounds like it's, say, silver, for example, on the bottom, and then they put a red layer over the top, but then laser etched detail into it to make it look quite, I don't know, like it's been in a fight. I don't know. My Xbox controller would be in a fight, but it looks like that. Yeah, it's a nice looking little thing. Just a normal controller. It's got the transforming D-pad as you'd expect it to. Yeah, it's just another controller really. I don't really know. I don't know. It's just quite like a bedraggled controller. It's not anything hugely special. It's quite a nice little add-on, I suppose, if you get it for somebody for a present. I suppose I was working in the retail for so long, in the gaming retail industry, that I saw so many of these special edition controllers come out. I'd honestly be curious to know if anybody actually collects them. I've never had any of the special edition ones. I didn't even get the Fable one, and that really surprised me. I got the silver transforming D-pad one, but I got that dead cheap. That's the only reason I got that, because it came with the plain charge kit. But yeah, they've announced that this week, the new Tomb Raider controller, to obviously come out alongside the game. So that was announced. Last bit of news that really excited me this week. When I say excited me, honestly excited me. There's a gentleman, I don't know whether you guys will know him by name, because I honestly didn't. His name Eric Delums, Eric Delums, I don't know how to say his name. But he basically tweeted earlier on this week, and he put, "To all my Fallout 3 and 3 Dog fans, there may be more of the dog coming." Now, I am such a big Fallout 3 fan. Such a big fan. For those of you that aren't, I'm so aware that a lot of you might not have played it enough to know whatever that means. You basically discover a radio station in Fallout 3 called Galaxy News Radio. The presenter of that is called 3 Dog, and you basically have the facility to be able to listen to that. Stop it. Sorry, it's my little brother, and I was doing so freaking well as well. I'm going to kick him later. Yeah, in Fallout 3, you basically discover a radio station called Galaxy News Radio, and 3 Dog hosts it. Obviously, Eric Delums does 3 Dog's voice. Sorry, that's awful. 3 Dog's voice. So he announced that this week, upon people kind of questioning him on Twitter. He then wrote, "How about that for a tease? I was given permission for that." So that's pretty friggin' exciting. Whether that means there's going to be Fallout 4 an announcement soon, whether it means a Fallout movie, I honestly don't know what it means. I really hope it means a Fallout 4 announcement soon. I would love that. There was a rumour last year that the next Fallout's going to be based in Boston. I don't know. With Fallout 3, again, for those of you that don't know, those of you that do, it was based in Washington. So there were so many landmarks and places to discover, and it was such a phenomenal looking game. If you've not played it, please go and spend, it's what, £8-10 now? Go and spend it on getting that game and just play it. Get past the vault, get past the first couple of hours, because a load of people said they stopped playing it after a few hours. Go and get it and play it and just explore how beautiful and detailed that world is. But as I said, it was based in Washington, and there was rumours last year of it being based in Boston in Fallout 4. I don't know. Bethesda all impress me anyway, they always do. So yeah, that was announced. As well, for those of you that don't know, I did double check this. But Eric Delums, he also does a voice in Skyrim. He does Nazir. It was Nazir, wasn't it? Yeah, Nazir, in the Dark Brotherhood, the Red Guard in there. So yeah, he works closely with Bethesda, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that is Fallout 4 news. So yeah, that's kind of the end of this vlog. I hope I haven't bored you all to death again. I hope I didn't kill you the first time round. That's good, as long as I don't die twice. Yeah, my next couple of videos, one of my friends on Twitter has suggested I do kind of like a Q&A. We've come up with some questions that I could kind of just sit and answer, so hopefully you guys don't mind me just sitting here and talking to you again for 20 minutes. And another idea I had for a vlog would be to go into more detail about the next Fallout. I wanted to do that as a separate vlog because I know that not everybody's as big a fan of it as I am. That's not words. As big a fan of it as I am. So yeah, I wanted to kind of do a separate vlog on that. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. You've not fallen asleep. If you did like it, please share it amongst your gaming friends. Don't mock me too much if you think it was ridiculous. Yeah, and thanks again for watching the first one and continuing to support the channel. It means an awful lot to me. If the channel gets big, which I would, it'd be like a dream come true if it did. If the channel did, when it gets big. I wanted to kind of, do giveaways and kind of celebrate milestones and stuff like that. That's something I'll probably talk about there in a bit of a Q&A. But yeah, please let me know what you think. And don't mock me for how many times I've said that would be great as well. Okay, see you guys later.